Welcome back to the Astra, guys. Let's fix some shit. Alright guys, let's talk about this center console. Unfortunately, this is one of the common things to break in these cars as soon as you try to get behind it because it is so fragile. Now when I first pulled it out, this is what it looked like from the previous owner. Looks like they'd tried to repair it as best they could. So what I did is I came behind that with a shit ton of super glue and pretty much just glued the crap out of it until it didn't move. Then the second time I pulled it out, it completely shattered. To repair this one, I went ahead and used a shitload of contact adhesive. I let that cure for a couple of days so that I knew that it was really strong and a good bond. The other thing I did to strengthen this a bit is I went down to Bunnings and I grabbed myself something called a maker bracket. Now a maker bracket is quite handy because you can bend it into the shape that you need. And I just glued that into place for that extra stability. So replacing this little computer in the center console is probably one of the main reasons that you're going to have to remove it and one of the main reasons that it breaks. So this thing actually screws into the back of the center console onto those little green clips. And those little green clips are usually held onto some plastic wings. Now, if you look at mine carefully, you'll see that I've actually broken the little plastic wings. So I've had to get creative with my maker bracket, file it down to the exact size, and I've used some contact adhesive to put the maker bracket where the plastic wings were, so that the clips can go back on so that the computer can be screwed back into the console itself. This is a tedious job, but it was effective and it's held pretty strong and I'm quite impressed. Now that we have some sort of structural integrity to this thing, my next job was to sand it down and try and get it as smooth as possible for the paint and the wrapping that I'm going to be doing later on. So these covers come with plastic clips. The plastic clips usually just clip in here. I've never seen these plastic clips on this car since I bought it, so we're going to use the maker bracket and we're going to actually make ourselves a clip by using contact adhesive and gluing it in there. Then I'll just bend that into the shape that I need. Well, we've measured and we've gone ahead and we've given our clips a slight bend. I know I'm probably going to have to bend them a little bit more once we get to the install. But for now, let's stick her on and see how we go. Well, there's the clips on and secured. Now all that's left to do is when I do go to install it, bend them into the correct shape that I need to. I think it's time to make this thing look presentable. We're going to spray this with some thick primer, and what this is going to do is it's going to fill in any of the imperfections that we've got from both sanding and all the repairs that we've done. I'm going to do a few coats and hopefully that's going to fill up as much as we can of those little gaps so that we can get to the wrapping and the wrapping will come out nice and smooth. I've gone with a carbon fibre wrap that I just got off eBay. I thought it looked pretty nice. Don't judge me, I'm not a professional and this is my first time attempting to wrap something. All in all, I don't think it came out too bad, especially when we start putting all the bits and pieces back onto the center console and get it ready for the install back into the vehicle. First though, we need to see if our makeshift maker brackets are actually going to hold this computer in place. I was actually quite impressed at how strong these things were once I had screwed them in, and I think that's going to hold for a good long time. Now, when it came to the makeshift clips that I've made onto the back of this, I did have to do quite a bit of bending and quite a bit of trial and error to get them in the right position. They are in the right position now, and you can see they've got quite a bend on them, but that clips in quite well, and hopefully we won't have any trouble on the install. Well, there we have it, guys. That is the finished product there. It's not perfect. I'm not a professional. I think I've stated that many times in my videos. If you do like my videos, drop us a like or a follow, and we'll see you on the next repair.